57% of high school girls experience persistent feelings of sadness or hopelessness, the highest level reported over the past decade, and nearly doubled compared to boys. Two Florida moms from the group Freedom Works Fast, Keisha King and Laura Zork, join us now. What do you think is behind this, Keisha? You brought up an interesting point that you thought that a lot of the narcissism and sort of the meme that the culture and social media is feeding might be playing into why our girls are so sad.
Absolutely. They are surrounded and inundated with messages that don't really support who they naturally are. They have, they're little girls trying to grow up, and then there's biological boys who are going into their bathrooms, invading their spaces. They're being inundated with ideas that don't affirm really who they are. They're saying, no, who you really truly are, that's not really good enough. And I believe that the public school system is the hub for all this harm is happening to our little girls.
I already hated that clip when the host made it seem as if the point that maybe it's social media that's causing emotional problems was some sort of original idea that their guest had come up with. That would have been offensive enough. But to then take that reality, which is complex and deserves quite a bit of attention by the media, by society, we should be talking about this and trying to figure it out. And then to boil it all down to they did a trans is so utter, like just don't acknowledge the problem. If this is going to be your approach to it, because it's worse. It's worse to take this study that is looked into, this is CDC by the way, and they've unveiled a real set of problems affecting many young people, but particularly young girls. And to then use it just as an opportunity to once again attack the trans community, the trauma that these young girls are facing, their stress and anxiety, the issues that they're facing that cause all sorts of different problems, they're not a tool for you to attack a convenient outgroup that you despise right now. What an abdication of not just like your role as a member of the media to do something like this, but like you're a human. You're supposed to care about people, and to just use this as yet another opportunity to attack them is just pathetic. So I hate everyone on that panel. That was Keisha King, by the way, deputy director of Freedom Works, with possibly the worst take on this depression crisis that I've ever heard. What do you think, Ivana?
It's nasty. Like I don't have a better word for it than that. Like she was being nasty. I mean, I grew up while social media was becoming much more popular. I had Facebook from like the age of 12 onwards. Instagram became a lot bigger when I was in high school. Like, so I grew up at the time of social media, and it wasn't trans people who were making me feel insecure. It was, of course, the ridiculous beauty standards that people like the people at Fox News promote and celebrate and encourage that made me feel insecure. It's the fact that women, 80%, at least 80% of women experience some form of sexual harassment in their lives. At least 80, and that number is, reported to be, the lower end of that. So most women, almost all women experience sexual harassment. It starts at a young age, which makes you self-conscious. And you internalize that. But I'll just say, I went to high school with trans people. I had trans friends in school, and none of my insecurities with myself were coming from them. In fact, like trans students are significantly more likely to be suicidal or depressed. And that's not because, of course, social media plays a role in that, but that is primarily because of the people like Fox News anchors who are consistently attacking them. And it's because they don't have people in their lives who are affirming them and supporting them. It's just disgusting, like shameful.
Yeah, from top to bottom, like to pretend that you care about young girls, like just zoom out slightly and think about the messages they send to young girls and young boys on a regular basis. If you get sexually harassed, you are probably asking for it, so shut up about it. If you get raped, we don't believe you, honestly. And if you get pregnant as a result of that rape, well, guess what? You're having that child. I don't care what you want. You have anxieties about your career. You shouldn't have one. We believe in traditional gender roles. You should be in the home. Just constant messages of not caring at all about what they might want for their life, what they might fear, the goals or dreams they might have. And then to come in at the last moment and make it just an opportunity to attack the trans community is just so sad. Really fast, I just want to, in case you haven't seen the study, nearly 1 in 3 high school girls reported in 2021 that they'd seriously considered suicide. That's up nearly 60% from just a decade ago. About 15% of teen girls say they were forced to have sex. That increased by more than a quarter in 2 years. I mean, these are just devastating facts. They deserve serious consideration, serious empathy. And so, of course, you're not going to see that on Fox News.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.